A couple weeks. Recorded, man. A couple weeks.
How was y'all Valentine's Day?
It was alright, man. Fucking God had some other plans, but I still got.
You mean Mother Nature?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mother Nature has other plans.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding?
What you ended up doing?
Shit. Got some fucking toppy.
I was about to say, you better at least got a hand.
I'm saying, what y'all do?
Oh, I mean, cause this is a work week. We didn't go out or nothing because I had to work and shit like that.
On the weekend, you ain't make up for it?
Mm-mm.
Man, you gonna be
Damn, I don't even think I.
Female listeners, you gonna be a bad dude.
No, she worked on the weekend and we got opposite schedules, you know, so it's kind of. I mean, we did something during that day, like we kind of got each other's shit and everything, but we didn't like go out to eat or nothing.
What you end up doing was?
Well, Bird, you'll appreciate this reference, but I beat it up like Mike, and by beat it up I mean I didn't do shit, and it was a lonely, boring time. I played some video games.
Yeah.
And I got some sleep. Actually, no, I got some sleep. That shit was good. I'm not even gonna cap. The sleep was worth it. But I didn't do nothing good though, obviously.
I ain't really do shit either, man.
Should've went and seen Sonic.
I spent my day pretty much researching other shit for the show and getting prepared, man, for the weeks coming. And then, you know, speaking of that, we can roll that into announcements. So I just did produce the show for a friend of mine, Pro Wrestling Talk for Pistons fans. So y'all go check them out. We had a lot of fun. We recorded up at Little Caesars Arena down in downtown Detroit. And with that being said, if you are looking for any production services for your podcast, please reach out to me. I did announce that on there. Also, you could email me, thefadeuppodcast@gmail.com, or hit us up on Instagram @thefadeuppodcast. We're also on Twitter, Fade Up Podcast. So we'll plug that in again at the end of the show. So yeah, but make sure if y'all need that, man, hit me up. But no, yeah, that show was a lot of fun. But I didn't do anything on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first one I had for a while. That was actually me doing something.
Right.
I don't even know if I'd be interested in doing anything. I had potential plans, but those fell through. And I was just like, okay, fuck it. And if you're listening,
it was a lot of like. That's the thing. Like, it's a lot of like. People would be on Facebook and shit. It should be funny. Like,
you talking about showing off all that shit.
Well, no, I was gonna say it don't happen as much. Like, I don't know if y'all remember like how social media used to be, because I think people know that people talk shit about it now. But
yeah,
people used to be bitter as hell on Valentine's Day.
The bitter.
You don't really get it like you used to anymore. But like,
yeah. That's because everybody now, I think, try to get their little relationships in. Because before it was like you said, it was different. But I think now, you know. Some people get relationships just to get them so that they can go and post on social media on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, picture
break up with your girl, you do like a week later and shit.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that's single right now after Valentine's Day, man. Sorry for y'all.
Yeah, I seen something with somebody who I think they just broke up last night.
I ain't like I said, I ain't do nothing either though, man. That's just what happens when you single. So.
Single and old.
Like
the older I get, the more I realize it's like Valentine's Day. Like even if I wasn't single, I'd be like, oh yeah, let me go try and do this, or like But now like I realized this year, I was like, yeah, I was just gonna sit back, smoke, watch something. Okay, good night. And then I woke up like, damn, that was Valentine's Day. Like, fuck.
Right.
Yeah, man. Like I said, if you live that single life, man, that's what happens. So, this is the From the Chair episode 2, second one. We do these at the end of the month. So, for y'all who haven't listened before, new listeners or people who didn't catch the episode, hopefully y'all go back and check it out. So, we kind of talk a little bit more organically with this one. No forced topics, no agenda. We just kind of want to sit down, rant about whatever, talk about whatever. Keep it real barbershop-like, just have that conversation happen organically. So that's what these From the Chair episodes are about. So like I said, if you haven't tuned into the other ones, man, make sure you do. February was a hell of a month, man. A hell of a month. So it's kind of started out well. I would say January ended things out, but since the last time you guys have been on here, Kobe obviously had passed, right? And that was a tragedy, obviously. Heavy for everybody, man.
Yeah, that shit was man, like when I first saw it, I'm like,
yeah.
I didn't even know if it was true. But then as time went on, because even though it was the first thing I saw was on TMZ, but you hit Google, and it was just talking about LeBron's record the night before. Yeah. So I'm like, man, I don't see it out here enough. I don't know if it's true.
Believe it, because that's what happened with ours. Who was in the group chat, somebody said something, and I immediately was like, what's this Kobe? Because they said, is this thing with Kobe true? They didn't say like what happened. And I immediately like hit Google, and Google was the same thing. It was talking about LeBron James, passing him third all-time scorers list and all this stuff. So I was like, what is this? What are y'all talking about Kobe Day? Is this what y'all talking about? I'm like, we talked about this last night, so y'all knew that, right?
Right.
Yeah, but
I was watching the Pro Bowl and the screen went black and shit. That shit was like, what? Like,
well, this is why I didn't believe it, because I was watching the Pro Bowl during that time, and when the news started to come out, and as I kept refreshing, my browser on my phone, and then all of a sudden you started seeing the reports go through, and I'm like, but hold up, why wouldn't ESPN say something?
Yeah, because
it was like halfway through the second quarter before ESPN finally said something, and I started hearing about this during the pregame show or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was like a good 45 minutes before they finally said something on there. So. And
I'm still pissed at TMZ for revealing that shit, dude. Like, fuck.
I'm probably in the minority, but I'm not mad at them, because for one,
going
back, they did say that Kobe's wife actually did know, because everybody was like,
so
everybody was saying it was messed up.
She did.
Yeah, because everybody was saying it was messed up.
I take it back, TMZ, my bad.
They're like, TMZ, for them to come out like that, his wife to find out she lost her husband and her daughter that way. But as you dug into it, from what I understood is that because of the helicopter pilot making distress calls, people in the area who were witnessing it going down made calls. Say first responders were already headed there when the helicopter kind of started to spiral out. So they got there and immediately identified Kobe. And I don't know if they got Gianna right away or later, but yeah, for all that going on though, I was hoping it wasn't true, because the reports were they were really, really weird. First you heard it was just Kobe, and then you heard it was Kobe and his entire family, then it was Kobe and all his daughters, and then it was Kobe and Rick Fox.
Yeah, Rick Fox.
And then it was other players, other NBA players, former NBA players, and then it finally was it was Kobe and Gianna, and it was 7 other people. But that's still, man, it still doesn't seem real.
Yeah.
Even now, dude.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, because LeBron's record, or LeBron passed him that night, and I think he said they passed him in all-time All-Star appearances the other day. Yeah. I think Kobe had 15, and that one with LeBron put him at 16.
Yeah. Well, he said, LeBron said that they had talked that morning.
Yeah.
Because they said he was going to see him in Philly. Or not in Philly, because he broke the record in Philly, and they talked about that. But he said that he was going to see him at another game in L.A. He congratulated him. He said he talked to him that night after the game, and he talked to him the next day early in the morning.
Yeah.
And so
he was supposed to be at one of them games that week coming up.
Yeah, I think he said he was seeing Friday, a game on Friday or something like that.
Yeah.
So that was tough, man. But finally they said they laid him and Gianna's arrest in a private ceremony. So, but people was pissed off about that, because everybody's like, well, why wouldn't they what's going on? Why wouldn't they? And my thing, they don't owe y'all that.
Not at all.
They don't owe us that.
I mean,
they are going to do a public memorial
at
Staples Center, but everybody's upset because they wanted this public funeral. I'm like, not everybody wants to do that shit.
Right. Yeah.
Not everybody's and nothing is wrong with what Nipsey's family chose to do. That's what they chose to do. Like, dude, her family doesn't owe us anything, especially how public this has been, especially how
didn't the Reid's family go around?
Yeah. I'm like, but the way it happened, I'm like, you would think that people would respect that they're getting that piece, because for that first couple of days, she didn't get that. His family didn't get that piece.
Yeah.
So,
that's one of the things that kind of sucks about social media, and not even just social media, society now, is that there's not more and more, there's outrage about everything, that's your God-given right, is to have
everybody
feelings.
thinks that celebrities
you're
personal, you're like this personal,
they're held to higher standards and shit. It's like, come on, dude. Even the stuff with athletes, and that's what pisses me off. Oh, why do they make millions? Because their entire life is
They
exposed.
but they worked hard for all that.
Exactly. You know, they earn their money and shit. They're athletes, but then it also irritates me because people get, you know, mad, like, oh, they get money, or they make so much money, why do they get made, why do they get upset, and this and that, but whatever.
Because they're people.
Exactly, and that's
you
what
get upset.
Yeah, and that's
you
what
made $100,000 or $200,000, and all of a sudden that now, like,
you can't be mad.
You can't be mad at anything anymore.
And that's like the thing. It's like, you know, like you said, they're people, and it's like, just because they're at celebrity status, or they make millions, or they're all over tabloids, doesn't mean that they have to expose that little bit of privacy they have to you. Like, fuck that, dude.
Right.
And that was different because, like, it was more than one person.
Mm-hmm.
Like most celebrities that we know, like the most major deaths that in our lifetime, and probably even before, has always just been that person.
Right.
This is the first one where I know it's like, okay, it's a major celebrity and a relative.
Right.
Too. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's other people too, or other, you know, people over time, but from my memory, like, I can't think of another major celebrity death where it's been them along with a brother or sister or son,
especially a child.
And I guess that's the one thing that you can kind of get comfort in, is that he was, you know, I mean, he was with his daughter. He wasn't alone. But, you know, the thing that bothered me though was, like, imagine being in that moment and you have to look down at your child and reassure them that everything is going to be okay.
Because you know it's not
going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like that is rough.
Yeah.
Like, that's rough to think about.
I was thinking about it too that day, because I'm just wondering, like, you know, when you're in a plane or helicopter or something, you kind of know
your chance of survival is low.
You know,
Especially the way that helicopter was going down.
Yeah.
Like it was not gonna.
Knowing the way, you know, that's, you know, things crash and burn.
Yeah.
It's not any way of getting out of that, rarely. So it's kind of like you said, it sucks because, you know, you can just imagine the last moments, you know, trying to be there and realizing what awaits you, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of that, man, that made me want to ask a question about, did you guys see the Gayle King interview with Lisa Leslie after that?
Yeah.
I've seen a few things, but what was
Lisa Leslie? So she was doing an interview with Lisa Leslie. I don't know if this was timing or they decided to pull her in, but I didn't see the whole interview, but there's an excerpt in there where she began to ask questions to Lisa Leslie about, you know, is it a good look with WNBA and Kobe's, you know, connection and with the rape stuff and all that. And Lisa Leslie was like kind of trying to move off of it, but Gayle King was insisting on it, and everybody like was up in arms, which I was pissed off about it too, because first of all, you could see it made this girl uncomfortable. It was making her uncomfortable.
Wait, when was the interview?
This probably happened like a week after his passing. So it was like right after that.
What a cunt.
So you're pushing on that, and like, you know, it was just, everybody was pissed, and rightfully so. And it's like, Gayle King, man, that's timing. Like, that's bad timing for you to do something like that. But, you know, try to understand, like, and I see her in Oprah's position, because these are, well, I don't know about Gayle King, but I know Oprah was sexually assaulted. So she kind of has a fight when it comes to the shit with the Me Too movement and, you know, these assaults and all that. And notice they've been going, her and Gayle have been going after specific, you know, people in these interviews the last couple of years. But it's like,
that's weird, because
but see, that's why people were pissed. It wasn't so much so people are against what Kobe did, but people are like, okay, but you didn't go after Harvey Weinstein. You didn't you didn't
you didn't go after Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
You know, you're targeting black men.
So that's why people, if she interviewed all of them,
right,
I don't even think people would have been that pissed about it.
But the thing is, with the Kobe situation too, with that happening, like, he was acquitted. All evidence pointed to that this girl, it was a money grab.
Right.
Because like who has sex with him and goes to, if you're getting, you know, assaulted or raped or whatever she alleged, you go to a party after that and you're bragging that you slept with Kobe Bryant.
Right.
Like, everybody's leaving that out and all that. why would he settle? Why would he settle? That's the standard protocol. Like things, people want that. They're gonna throw something up against the wall because they expect you to settle.
Yeah.
What do you think a person's gonna do in that situation? I don't think settling is like an admission of guilt in any kind of way.
And when you have the money, like if something's stressing me out and I have the money
to make it stop.
I'm like, man, look, let's just settle this
that's
shit.
That's just like what comes to
get shit out there.
If you sue your job or whatever, how that works, their lawyers are going to try and settle before you seek more. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because it becomes a long bloviated case and all that kind of stuff that happen. But now I am one of the ones. I am one of the few though. At the same time of being mad at Gayle King, I don't agree that she should be canceled. Now I am pissed off that like she tried to put it on the network and all that. And I said this. I had said this in an Instagram video that I had posted. I said in the stories, I'm like, Gayle King is an extremely prominent member in the media. Okay, I highly doubt, because she said that she didn't know that that clip of the interview was going to be aired by the network and all that stuff. I'm like, there's no way in hell Gayle King, being up there, people like you, people like Oprah, Dan Rather, those people who are
there's
on
potential
that level,
for everything.
You're going to sit up there and tell me that you didn't think that. First of all, you knew when you asked that question that that was going to be a focal point of it.
Right.
Secondly, you mean to tell me that CBS, I mean, is not going to run those clips by you to say like, hey, this is what we're going to put out there.
She's got associate producers and shit.
You think that you Gayle King,
right? You're
Gayle King. It's not like one of us just got a spot where we're on TV now and like we go do an interview with somebody.
They don't give a shit.
They're like, we don't have to tell them about what we're gonna do, about what we're gonna do to drive interest towards this show or towards this particular interview. However, that Gayle King, she's paid those dues. Oprah's paid those dues. There's no way in hell CBS did not go to her and say, hey, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
These are the excerpts we're gonna show leading up to this interview.
Yep. The dailies.
Yeah, and this thing is it's a salacious story.
Right.
And she should know that's what gets people clicking or watching. So you can't pretend like if you asked 100 questions and then brought that one up, you can't pretend like you didn't think that would be the one they would use to market the interview.
Right, the interview. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that was my thing. So I found that BS. But I don't think though that, like I said, that she should be canceled only because I mean, part of it is her doing her job. She does need to pick those spots better. But Gayle King doesn't seem as malicious and deliberate as some of the things you've seen with Oprah, which I also don't think that necessarily that Oprah should be canceled either, because the two of them, like they have done a lot for our community.
Right.
And you don't, especially with black millionaires and billionaires, a lot of them disassociate themselves with us as they make it. I don't think that they've really done that, but I do think, like I said, that they need to be called out more, called to the front of the congregation. Like, yo, you can't keep doing like you are unraveling that at the same time.
Right.
You should be called out for this shit. Why are you? And then not to mention, like recently with the Russell Simmons thing, and Oprah said one of the reasons she backed off is because there were holes in the victim's story. There was like when she did the leaving Surviving Neverland, like there were holes. They said that the two of them, those kids or the two guys or whatever, the guy who did the documentary, who filmed the whole thing, produced it or whatever, he's like he didn't check those guys' background. He didn't verify their stories. Apparently, whoever, I forgot the guy's name who did the video, he was connected to Michael Jackson in some kind of way, shape, or form, like when he was alive. And so you're going back, you're not fact checking your sources. These are people who are going after prominent, members of the entertainment industry. And it's my understanding, like Michael, that his family can't go back and sue for slander, because they're like, once a person passes, it's no longer, you can't do it, or for whatever reason. Because his family came on this other show and was talking about that shit. But like, and then Oprah's going back and you're backing this stuff. So you have these people who are you're not going back and you're checking your facts. You're ready to pretty much put these people, their careers in jeopardy. That's somebody's livelihood. No matter how many millions they're worth, that can all go away overnight.
Especially nowadays, because they don't like is guilty until proven innocent.
Right.
So all it takes is allegation. But
look how quick they took
down
Bill Cosby.
With the Kobe thing, like, I mean, despite the obvious, it's just like at the end of the day, like, I don't really think it's, if she would have just settled on just asking about how it affects his legacy and everything,
right,
that might have been,
Yeah, she kept pushing.
But she kept pushing it, and then obviously everybody know that Lisa Leslie and Kobe were friends.
Right. And she's like, you wouldn't have saw it, but you don't think that you wouldn't have saw that, and that's
when it was like, okay,
because like now you're insinuating, insisting that
we're all done.
He just didn't show you because you were his friend or whatever.
Right. So that's what she had to get. But anyway, man, I don't want to harp on that for too long, but I did want to kind of bring that up. Super Bowl, man. Did y'all watch it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My boy Goat Mahomes.
And Andy. Shout out to Andy for getting that ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of went the way I thought. It kind of went,
It didn't go like I thought at all.
I thought there was
because remember
way
when
more
we did the
plays.
show and I was like, if they go down big, they're not going to be able to come back against San Francisco.
They did. Oh, that was actually pretty impressive, that comeback.
Yeah.
But I definitely expected more like jaw-dropping plays, like some really big plays and big
You don't
hits.
think it was any jaw?
Oh no, there was.
Like that pass from Mahomes to I mean, I know he was wide open, but the move that Tyreek.
Oh, on Wasp.
Like
I love that play. Yeah, Wasp.
But like I was saying when we did that one episode, I was speaking about the Sherman and Tyreek Hill matchup, and it ended up not being Hill. It was Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
But
Sammy Watkins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But still, it's like that to me was like Richard Sherman's still good. It's just that it's so much speed on that offense or whatever.
Well, they showed the one move that Sammy burned him for the big game, and I'm sorry, that pass to Sammy Watkins, not to Tyreek Hill, but when Tyreek Hill burned him for that, and they showed Sherman. Now that was Sherman's fault because Sherman didn't put hands on him off the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
come
got
on.
past
I
him.
know Sherman, but if you playing man coverage, you tied up on that dude, you got to put a hand up on him. It may not be bump and run coverage, but you got to put your hand up on that dude, like at least because he made that move shimmy and was like, he turned Sherman's ass.
See, I thought those were
going
to get more of those kinds of big, those big 20, 30 yard plays. Like, I feel like they came into the fourth quarter, but not as frequently as I thought.
Well, see,
and not by Sherman. Like, I didn't
how
think
many
Sherman
points they
was
scored in 6 minutes? Wasn't it 21 points they scored in 6 minutes in the fourth or something like that?
Yep.
The thing about it was,
man, that dude.
And I'm pissed Damian Williams didn't get the MVP. Like, I fuck with Mahomes super heavy, but Damian did his thing, dude, and he had 3 TDs. Like, those were all catalyst TDs.
Yeah, see what messed him up? Like Kyle Shanahan, he did it. He did it again, just like he did against
play not to lose against
like he did against New England that year. They were running great for 3 quarters, and then he started passing it.
Yeah.
And they did the same shit.
Yeah,
like Mostert and what's the other running back?
For 49ers.
Foreman, I believe.
Coleman.
Or Coleman, I mean, yeah.
Coleman.
They're doing their thing. Then in the fourth, I guess he kind of had to, but you couldn't have put the ball in Garoppolo's hands in the fourth quarter. I mean, Garoppolo's a good quarterback, but in the fourth quarter, Garoppolo, Mahomes,
run the ball.
He's not going to be able to outdo him. So you should have kept running the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Go Mahomes, dog.
Yeah. So your boy Patty Mahomes, he's entering a new stratosphere.
I was wrong about the prediction because remember I said that I just thought San Francisco was because of the defense, the way they were built, and that that comeback. But I was happy that I predicted at the beginning of the season. I was like, they're gonna make the Super Bowl. It was like Kansas City. So I was right.
Especially when they picked up Shady, I was like, okay.
I thought they were gonna pressure Mahomes more, and I thought that's what would have helped San Fran out, but they didn't really. It's been so long, I can't remember, but they didn't pressure him as much as.
I mean, listen. Obviously, none of us are clearly not good enough to be NFL head coaches, so we don't know what it's like. But at the same time, you would think to yourself, man, go with what got you to the dance, dude.
Yeah.
Like, why, man? Why? And especially when you going out there and you beating up on a team, kind of heavy. I mean, it wasn't like they weren't going out there and like destroying.
But they were getting a lot of 6-7 yard runs.
Yeah, you were doing enough to keep the pressure on them. So why would you decide? You know what? Now we're up. Like when you go into, you got 3 timeouts. You go into halftime, and you basically give up.
Right.
I hope we go into halftime with a 10-point lead. Dude,
yeah.
Come on, it's Patrick Mahomes, man. Like you've seen the shit he's done in the last 2 games. You know, going into the playoffs. So you got to put your foot on the team's throat and just we closing this out night.
Yeah, Shanahan.
That mama mentality, man.
Yeah, people were saying that some of the players were kind of pissed with his play calling.
Who was
towards the end? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's my man's name that they call the new grunt? Kittle. Yeah, Kittle was like, he supports him and he felt bad for him and all that because he's like the second Super Bowl. Kittle did kind of throw a shot there because he's like, this is the second Super Bowl that he lost, because of play call, and he was like, so you gotta feel bad for him. I'm like, damn.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, we didn't say it like that.
Like you did kind of take a shot at your coach, but
Yeah, that's 6 quarters of you doing the damn thing and 2 quarters of you going away
and just fucking
from fucking yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Because I think it was a week later. But did you guys watch any XFL?
I still haven't. There's a game on right now. I still haven't, but I heard it's been pretty good though.
Yeah, I've seen highlights, but I haven't actually.
I've seen highlights, but
sat down. And
I've watched probably 13 full quarters. Throughout the games.
What you think so?
The first week it was kind of lackluster. The second week they turned it up a lot.
Okay. And
I think McMahon might be onto something, dude. They have some fucking cool ass rules. The double pass, they're instead of an extra point. So this is the one thing I love. All right, say you're down 9 in the 4th quarter. That's nothing to them because after that touchdown, you can either go for 1 at the 2-yard line, 2 at the 5-yard or 2 at the 5-yard line, or 3 at the 10-yard line. Okay. So you could literally come back and that's like it's nothing. Onside kicks.
I know. Remember the NFL, and this is what I like at least about his rules this time is that they're doing the things that the NFL has talked about, maybe thinking about doing. They're just like, you know what, fuck it, let's just go do it.
Yep.
And it's working. But that's what I like what he's doing now versus when he did it 20 years ago. It was like.
Crazy.
The scramble for the who gets the ball first, which is basically how to kill your players.
Yeah,
right.
Their kickoff is nice too. Nobody moves until the ball gets kicked.
Yeah.
So and they're 5-10 yards apart. So they kick it. That's 5-10 yards up, and then you got to go like that. That's pretty nasty. And they don't do onside.
I'm glad they changed. I'm glad he's doing things that are not like ridiculous now.
And they don't have onsides either. If you want to do an onside kick. You do a 4th and 15 from the 25, something like that, or however that would break down the math, like where onside would typically be. So I think it's 4th and 15 from like the 35 or the 40. Okay. But that's still like it's good to see something fresh and exciting. Yep. Oh, they have on-field reporters, which it made for some pretty awkward shit so far. Like this, the dude threw a pick and she walks up right to him, like, so how'd you feel about that? And he's like, I gotta catch the ball, and then he's just pissed, and then you could hear.
Dangerous. I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's gonna be because you could tell they almost did it. They almost caught some shit the first 2 times. The studio cut the sound because he was like, yeah, these stupid fucking, and then they boop. But the thing I really appreciate. So the head coach has typically, for people who don't know football, the head coach has communication, or the offensive coordinator have communication with the quarterback until the play clock hits a certain amount of time.
Yeah, it was like 15 seconds or 12 seconds or something.
Right. Like so now he has communication with his entire squad, like with all the offense that's on the field. They can hear him, so he could call plays in directly to them, where they don't even really have to huddle. And what's the other thing? It had something to do with communication, but like. They could all hear it, and the refs. You hear everything that's going on in the ref booth, and while they're doing their reviews. So while they're doing their, they don't have challenges, by the way. But if
they don't.
Nope, no coaching challenges, which is weird. They review everything all from the box. So if you hurry up and run and spike it, they can't do shit about it. Okay. But or run a play, whatever. But while they're up there, you can hear everything they're saying. And so if they're up, like how people now, one of the big problems with the NFL is the officiating. Well, you can hear every word they're saying instead of getting a shitty ass excuse 3 days later from the league why they screwed a team out of something.
Okay.
It's nasty, dude. I think it's real progressive.
I might check it out tomorrow, man.
It is progressive as hell.
I might go see one of the games tomorrow. Yo, what up, Randy?
You watching that fight tonight? You gonna try to?
I'm gonna try to catch that. Who you got?
I mean, I got Wilder, but your boy Fury though, like,
He looking.
he was tagging his ass that last one, you know.
No,
like,
he was.
It was able to be a draw because of the fucking knockdowns, you know.
Right.
Like, but
Wilder. So I noticed in the last fight, what's my man name? The Dominican dude. He fought back in November.
for the Cuban dude, I think he's from Cuba, the big Cuban motherfucker. I don't know his name, but
But I noticed that in that fight too, because he was tagging Wilder then, and Wilder, you know, he went for the knockout punch. Like you.
Yeah, he was doing the same.
I hope he
doing the
doesn't do
same
that in
thing.
this, because I'm like, you know, Tyson Fury is too good of a guy for you to take out, and you think that you about to allow him to, you know, throw them shots at you, and you don't,
Yeah, he was hitting them with them 1-2,
So don't try to
1-2 punches.
Don't like wait for the knockout. If the knockout is there, go for it, but don't wait for the knockout.
Yeah, see, he was trying to. In that last fight, he was trying to knock his fucking head off. Like I was watching some of it yesterday because I was like, I might bring it up tomorrow. So I was watching some of it yesterday again, and I was like, damn, like he was like literally like headhunting.
Yeah.
And old boy was evading it, you know, but he caught him when he needed to.
Right.
But I think he probably want to be more strategic.
Yeah. He needs
until like the later rounds.
Yeah, he needs to be. So speaking of that, real quick, I want to talk about Power. Did y'all see it?
Yeah, I
didn't watch.
So what do you think about the last five? Oh, so you didn't see it yet?
I mean, I heard what the fuck happened. Obviously,
so
you can't avoid it. But yeah, I know what the fuck happened. I just didn't watch the last season
I was
yet.
about to say, spoiler warning.
It was a little lackluster, but at the same time, I feel like it's a good ending for Ghost as a character. A solid ending, because he's like, he's already went through a fucking bunch of bullshit, and you know, having to deal with all that shit. And honestly, though, I'd rather see Tariq dead. I just gotta see him die. I gotta see him die.
People hate him in real life.
I think I hate Tariq the character.
I feel bad for him, dude.
I might hate Tariq the character more than Joffrey.
Yeah, and that's saying.
And that's bad. Yeah, Joffrey is a fucking prick.
So I was listening to another podcast, and they talked about what do you think was a better show between Power and The Wire?
The Wire.
Come on.
The Wire.
Are you fucking serious?
I mean, there are people out there who are like, they think it's better.
Bro, it's not even
I think it's because
close.
The Wire, you didn't have like that over the topness. Like this, Power is a great drama, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it got its moments where it's like way.
The writing for the Power.
episode.
The thing about the writing between Power and The Wire is like, you know, The Wire is way the fuck up here, and Power has been up there too, but it's been a lot of shit that happens in there.
Yeah.
Where you like, who wrote this shit?
Yeah.
And I never felt that way watching The Wire.
This last episode, very last episode, there was a lot of shit in there that you were like, some of it was over the top. Two was like for instance, how did if you haven't seen this last episode yet, I'm sorry, spoiler warning. But you know, we went on 2 weeks, 2 weeks now, whatever. So you should have watched it.
Right.
Anyway, so like on that last episode, the shit that happened with Tasha and my man. So you just so happened to go to the store and got back in that same amount of time. You don't know what the hell she was about to do.
Right.
And all that.
He just had a creepingly suspicious feeling. Like,
right.
All of a sudden he went from like,
so he was head over and all of a sudden like,
I don't buy it.
Yeah, that part was a little bit kind of that shit was a little funky.
I mean, even the Tommy killing Proctor. Was it Proctor? Is it Proctor's lawyer, right? Yeah, Tommy killing Proctor. he had snuck through the back door, used a whole machine gun, a whole chopper, and all that shit. Nothing.
He was shooting them for like 20 minutes.
Literally, like, and no one at all heard nothing. And I get it, some of those places are really built nice and shit, but
this is
blasting through a window, yeah,
this was a
that's glass falling in the street.
Neighborhood at? Was it like that nice ass neighborhood?
Yeah, it was in the penthouse.
Great, remember?
Ghost penthouse?
Yeah, it's penthouse.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, yeah.
But I mean, I know you got sound, but a gun is a gun.
Yeah, yeah.
It don't matter how soundproof your fucking house is. Somebody coming through, especially with a big ass automatic rifle, that he reloaded that bitch like.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Going through the whole house,
dog.
It went from it started in the damn near living room area all the way to the kids' bedroom. Like, bro, what?
Yeah, that was funny, man.
That's so over the top.
Yeah, I love Power. Like, between that and The Wire, like,
I'd take The Wire all day.
The Wire was a lot more realistic anyway, man. A lot less.
I mean, if you like sex scenes and shit, I guess Power's for you because they want to see ass and titties. But if you like some realistic, like hard hitting drama, I'd go with Power. The Wire.
The Wire, yeah.
I don't think we ever get something like that again. Like
unless David Simon. David Simon will have to do it. Mm-hmm. He would have to top his own. Like he did The Deuce. The Deuce is pretty good.
I didn't even watch it yet.
The one. It's based off of this section in New York that was kind of looked at as the
porn.
Porn? Yeah. Like where porn kind of not started, but
the one with Method Man.
Yeah, where porn kind of took off.
It
showed the change between like
the green 70s New York,
and all that. So it went from there
to like the 80s. The main characters Maggie Gyllenhaal and
Maggie
Franco?
Gyllenhaal and
Yeah, that's I started watching the first episode. I never
it's a good show.
I got it.
No, I do hear that.
It's over now because they did 3 seasons. They were 3 and
okay.
done, but it's a good show.
That's what sucks about shows lately. Like they get like 3 to 5 seasons. And I know you can't oversaturate something, but damn, can you give us a hot 8 of something, dude?
Unless you power, what's the shit? Game of Thrones or something.
Oh, never mind. Don't even give me an 8. Just kill me at 5. Fucking bastards.
But another thing is y'all see the Malcolm X documentary, Who Killed Malcolm X?
No, I heard something about it.
I'd seen something about it, but I didn't know it was on there.
His daughter was on it. I saw a little snippet of that.
It's crazy. So the guys, the true killers, I think except for one, they were never caught. I think it was 2 other dudes that were identified, but they didn't. And he interviewed those guys too. One of the guys, he was like, I was known as a muscle man in the Nation of Islam. He's like, I had dealings with Malcolm X and all that before he got banned from the nation. So he's like, they know who I was. He's like, there's no way in hell I could have did it because as soon as I would have entered that hall, he's like, that would have been it for me. He's like, that would have been a wrap. So he's like, I knew then the police weren't doing their due diligence. We were going to be framed. But here's the crazy thing about it. So my man's got all the way, I believe it's 4 episodes, right? He got all the way up to finding out who was the killer because the guy was still alive, free, running the streets. There were questions about whether or not he could have been an FBI informant, and that's why he never got caught or implicated. They were like, a lot of people knew, and he was interviewing people in Jersey, and was asking questions. Everybody, leave that alone, man, leave that alone. He said he was gonna go confront the guy, which I don't know what he was expecting to get out of that. And the guy passed away like right before he could interview. It almost seemed like it was like, scripted out there. But it was crazy. But I know they did reopen the investigation to his murder as a result of that documentary. Good. They wanted to see why it got handled the way it got handled.
I mean, it just kind of has the look of like they didn't want to know.
Oh hell no, they didn't. What
the fuck happened?
Yeah, it's black leader.
And the further away you distance yourself, the harder it is to figure out who did it.
Right. Well, there were rumors too about the same thing with Martin Luther King, that his killer. You would have to deep dive into it, but they were talking about the angle where he was shot and all that. With no way, like he would have died. Said they think that what happened was on the way to the hospital, he was suffocated or something happened to him. They were like, he didn't die on that balcony.
Yeah, I read something about that before too. What you were talking about, obviously, I just always think that with them, like, it was a setup.
It's always a setup, and even if it wasn't,
even if it wasn't the government that did it, like, they had people, you know, like, that may have been enemies, because that's what they do.
Yeah.
You know, that's
the whole
that's
thing
the
was
whole
like,
tactic.
even when you look at it all, even if it was like a legitimate assassination, like the lackluster policing, them investigating, you know, they go half-ass with it, like very half-ass. They were half-ass in there. They were like, the fact that you had this amount of people in that hall that day, and yet you couldn't pull any credible witnesses. You didn't canvass the area right. Like, they were talking about the booth or the podium he was standing in front of.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, the place took the podium and put it in the basement. You know, they put it. It was like, you know, when police investigate some shit, they take that shit. That goes and it gets entered into evidence, locker and all. It's like the place put that shit in the basement, so you can go up there and ask, and they brought it out, bullet holes and everything. It was like, that goes to show that the police were never serious about investigating that
at all.
So,
yeah, man.
God damn.
That era of, like, people like Huey Newton and all those guys, like, and other, you know, Black Panther leaders and stuff, like, I feel like a lot of that stuff was set up, and the ones that weren't, that could have been like rivalries or people who, you know, may have had a grudge against them guys. They weren't trying to figure out, you know, who did that stuff.
Yeah. It's a good documentary. Definitely go check it out if y'all haven't. Listeners out there, if y'all haven't, man, you gotta check that out. I'll definitely say go ahead and see it. So I had a kind of a rant the other day on the Instagram. I don't know if y'all saw it.
What was the rant?
So, you know the dude Kev on stage? The one, like, comedian, YouTube kind of dude.
Hold on, let me look. I think I might know. Let me see.
So he posted this video.
Kev, like Kevin?
Yeah, Kevon on stage. So he had this video, I guess he posted or he reposted, where it was his father, black father. He's showing his son how to season some ribs and stuff. He's showing his son how to cook. They're playing music, they're dancing and all that, having fun. Just genuinely wholesome time, right? Mm-hmm. Showing that black fathers care, right?
Yeah.
So he posted it. He says, you know, it made him feel good to see something like this, you know, get this bad rep and all this other stuff, and it was fun. So he's like, you know, something told me to go look at my comments, as you know, there's always gonna be something in the comments. Some dude has said that you have to hate your father to a certain degree, and he's like, this kind of stuff. He's like, you know, as you going out and you showing affection to your kids, then you gonna wonder in some years why they come out gay. So I'm like, so
are you fucking kidding me?
Showing your son affection puts him at risk for coming out and being gay.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I'm like, and it got me going, and I had put a rant on here and said, listen, dude, like, this is what kills me about us in our community, man. Give me a second if I get a little passionate about this shit. Our fucking level of insecurity in our community is beyond ridiculous, dude. For you to sit up there and say that you should have some kind of hate for your dad, like, how fucked up in the head are you to even say some shit like that? You can't show your son or daughter affection, which we lack that heavily in our community for whatever reason, more because we're taught that we just got to be more dominant, more male, more alpha, more this than any other. We talked about in the alpha male episode.
Get made fun of if you go get help.
Right. So my thing is, now you're sitting up here saying that we shouldn't show our kids affection, or our sons more specifically, because it's a risk that our son might grow up and he might come out and be gay. Like, dog, what kind of dumb shit is that?
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
And I'm like, it doesn't, like, look at my stupid ass. I was raised by 2 lesbians with healthy affection, and I'm not gay. I haven't had a fucking gay thought in my life except for, damn, that's gay. Like, that makes 0 sense. And then it goes along with the, you know, we're so programmed, like we said, I think it was something about parenting. It was the parenting episode. Like, you know, we're raised we naturally be whooping ass because we got our asses whooped. So
That's
it's
passed down.
Exactly. So and the older we get, it's like, I guess the older, but people nowadays, it's just like there's always stuff for like, oh, they're gay. Oh, so what if they're gay? What are you gonna do if your child's gay? Like, it doesn't make any sense that showing affection makes them gay.
Right.
Yeah, because I my kids, like, I kiss Devin and Logan, like on the cheek and stuff. And then at night, if they sleep in the bed with me, I cuddle with them and shit. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't think if they just happen to turn out to be gay, I know that isn't the reason.
Right, that's right. The reason isn't because all them years ago,
now if
Trey was giving me a
father,
kiss,
right?
He was a good father. He was a good father, so that's made me, now that he's a good father, I think.
I'm gonna go get me my father.
Yeah, now if I start yeah.
My daddy was a good daddy, so I'm gonna give me a daddy.
If I start doing questionable shit, because that's like that, like Dennis Rodman was talking about one time when he was on the Breakfast Club about like how they were asking about like when he used to wear dresses and shit, like he wore the wedding dress to the book thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, I've never been with a man. I've hung out with gay people and hung out at gay clubs, but my sisters would put dresses on me when I was a kid.
Right.
So it just always been. But he's basically saying like, I don't.
He said that on the ESPN 30 for 30 thing where he was like at that time in that climate, he's like, he just so happened to be hanging around a lot of gay men for whatever reason.
And
he said that on.
And I don't take Dennis Rodman as the guy.
In a situation with another man.
Yeah, and he's an open book. I don't take him as the type of guy that will lie. I think he's telling the truth.
I'm gonna be this wild man, but when it comes to this, I'm gonna tell you I didn't do that.
Yeah, I think he's being honest about. I'm not gay at all.
Right.
It's just that environment. So like I think affection is different than you playing with dolls and putting makeup on your son.
Right.
I don't think affection is. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. So to a certain extent.
Speaking of that, and like I said, we talking about this sensitivity shit. That it bugs the hell out of me. So obviously y'all can hear it in my voice. But so Dwayne Wade's son, the last couple of weeks, I'm sure y'all heard that.
Yeah.
What are y'all thoughts on that?
Yeah.
I had a few people talk to me about it. I made a status about it because I have my opinion about the situation is I don't necessarily approve of the way D Wade's going about it because with the whole the name changing thing, for example, right? This is my thing, like just to take sexuality out of it. So it's because I think when it comes to the transgender stuff. Or even like we were just talking about like topics of sexuality, like people, okay, I can touch this, all right, I can't touch that. I think that's one of these things. So like my kids, let's say they're heterosexual and they just want to change their name. Like, I want to be John now. Like, I'm going to say no. If I had a daughter, she's not gay or nothing, but she just want to change her name from fucking Jessica to Samantha. I want to identify as Samantha now. I'm like, no, you can't do that. So if I'm gonna say that, in those instances, I don't think I'm gonna say, since this is, trans situation, and I know it's a sensitive subject, and the times you're living in, okay, because like I think like a lot of shit that I've been seeing with it. Like, again, because I'm not against, like, my son came out as gay or whatever. I'm not against that. It's just the way, like, picture he had nails on, he had a crop top. Now, if somebody posted a picture of their 12-year-old daughter with that same outfit on, people going to say, she's fast as hell. She's fast as hell. Yeah. But since it's somebody in transition, it's, okay, we got to applaud it, though. Like, well, you got to applaud that 12-year-old fast ass little girl too, then, if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And just another thing, I salute him for supporting, his son transition. I'm not against that. Like, I salute him for being as supportive. I kind of think he's pandering though to an extent, because it's like he's like he has a son his older son who's like good at basketball. Like, talk about all your kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, talk about all your accomplishments. I think everybody knows you support Zaya Wade.
I think he does, but I think sorry to interrupt you on that.
No, go ahead.
I think he does. In all fairness, I think he does. I think it's the media who's kind of, that's the highlight, because he's supporting his son. And the thing about it, so I have a little bit of a different take on it to you. Although I do understand where you're coming from on it, I don't totally agree, because your child's going to be the way, who they are. And the thing that, we talked about on the parenting episode, our children are not our own, right? They're going to, they're going to make their own path. We got to get out of the mindset that we are trying to recreate ourselves, because we're not. Like, we're not. Not everybody, but a lot of people look at their children, and think that their child has to be them.
Yeah.
Right? The natural thing you would think is that this kid is going to pick up a basketball, he's going to be just like Dwayne Wade.
Right.
He's not, but people have been criticizing him for a few years now, because Dwayne Wade has kind of embraced like the flamboyancy of his son even before this news came out. And he said that him and his mother have known that he was like that since he was like 3 or 4.
Right.
So the things that he liked, the stuff that he was into. But the other part that kills me about it is a lot of people are coming out there talking about, well, he's too young to know about his sexuality, yada, yada, yada. But when you go back and you do the research, that age range, that 10, 11, 12 age range is where
I remember being in school with dudes
figure that out.
Elementary, like, that were gay, like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I did too. There were people I went to middle school with who you kind of knew. People were obviously, then we were kids, and it's not right, but, you crack jokes on this person, this, that. And years later, like, I go down my Facebook and stuff at some of them, and I follow a lot of people outside of high school. They are with, they're with me. You knew that back then, it people trying to like justify their level of uncomfort with it.
Right.
You're going back and saying, well, he's too young to really know about himself. Why would you this, that? But you got to let him discover himself too. You can't. So what is Dwayne Wade supposed to do? Like, I'm gonna. In the meantime, play with this ball, son. You and your brother, you like to play. He plays basketball. I play basketball. Play with this ball, son. Be a man. Do these things, and then you can figure yourself out at 18. Like, nah.
Yeah. See, I think I'm cool with everything. Like you said, find out who you are.
Right.
But in terms of there's gonna be no transition until you are an adult.
Yeah, which you can't legally anyway.
Exactly. So no name change, none of that. This is who you are. You can be who you are, but when you're an adult, then you can make those things, and I will pay for it. Until then,
that I don't have a problem.
Just get there. But if you want to nails, dress, suck a dude up, whatever you gotta do, okay. But we're not gonna.
Too young for that.
Well, no. I mean, like even at 16,
But
like 16, 17.
Some of the people are, but. Here's the other shit that gets me. People are fucking trying to like. So they're justifying their level of uncomfort by trying to go out and say shit like, well,
the Bible.
No. They're talking about, you might as well let pedophiles, because pedophiles feel that they identify with young boys, and they want. Said, dude, it's not the same.
That's somebody attacking someone. That's
like,
someone
violating.
This child is all within himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
See, we don't want to go off on extremes. Like, that's a little different. That's like a little bit further out.
But it's people trying to justify that, so it's okay for me to go out. My thing is with it all, look, first and foremost, listen, Dwayne Wade don't need to listen to you. You can't fucking tell Dwayne Wade how to raise his kids. Everybody sitting up here want to go out and say, you should raise your son this way, you should raise your son. I'm going to raise my son and my daughter the way the fuck I want to.
Yep. And
it's none of your business how I'm raising my child. And I had said this to a few people the other day. I'm like, dude, answer me this question. Say, how does Dwayne Wade's situation, him and his son, how does that, enlighten me on how that affects you? How does that change your life?
Mm-hmm.
Just tell me. Nobody can really answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you care? Like, why are you fucking upset about what he's doing with his son?
Yep.
Or how he's allowing his son to live his life or guide him towards or whatever. He's being a good dad because
Mm-hmm.
it's not, I'm not teaching my son, how to be ultra masculine male. I'm not teaching my son how to be a womanizer or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. He's not telling his son to do anything harmful to anybody other
Right.
than being himself.
And then
his son is going to love him a lot more
Yep.
in 10 or 15 years when he goes through all of this stuff than he would if Dwayne Wade said, hey, I'm still going to be your father, but I'm going to tell you that that's not how you can be.
And then if that kid kills himself,
playing
then
basketball. Right. And he's doing this and he's living in this mode until he's 25, 26, 27. He's like, oh, I can't live like this no more. Like you said, he either kills himself or he goes back and he's like, you know what? I really don't care for my dad because all these years my dad actually suppressed me. I thought I loved him, but I was forced to do that. So it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get that shit.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, it's just crazy because like that kind of thing is something I seen, like you know how people, oh you shouldn't, like with like gay parents, you know, a lot you always hear that people say, oh you should advertise that to your children, this and that. Like in my household, it wasn't really advertised. You know, like my moms weren't super affectionate. They kissed here and there, but it wasn't no, you know, and.
But that's just, to me, that's not, no.
It's not.
What parent in any house, in any format,
don't kiss
should
and
you
flirt
be
and shit.
showing your kids something most reasonable? People like, so when people say that, what do you mean?
And that's
Don't
my
show
thing.
that stuff in front of your kid. Like,
and then,
what are you showing?
And it's to me because it's like, oh well, they're gonna be gay or this or that, because that's the stuff I used to deal with in here, and it's crazy because in my household, I wonder sometimes if my mom's weren't super, just be who you are, but you must be a good person. That's their thing. And if they weren't like that, and I watched them hide everything, and I watched them, cower to hagglers and people, and they'd call her, N-word and faggot and all that.
Yeah.
If they cowered away and they showed me not to fight for what I believe in, or if they were like, tried to suppress who they were, I wonder if that would make me a different person and stuff. So it's like, oftentimes, like you said, how does that affect your life? So why are you so upset? And really, what's wrong with it if these kids aren't hurting anyone else? So why?
Yeah, and then, like I said, it goes back to what I said. What are you showing? What are you showing? So for you to sit up there and say, "Oh, you're showing your son how to be this way," so is that to say, if I'm married and my wife is in the kitchen cooking dinner, and I go up behind her and dinner smells good, and I go kiss her on the cheek, or go kiss her on the lip, does that automatically mean now my daughter's going to become hypersexual when she gets older?
Right.
Like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's
not the same. It's two people showing affection.
Yep.
So in your case, if your mothers were kissing each other, how does that?
Right.
Does that mean like, okay, Wes is going to see that now, so now he's going to translate? Oh, you know what? I should be gay too because my mom, she's kissing her on the cheek.
And that's what kills me too, because like these kids, kids imitate their parents and all so on and so forth, but like a lot of shit we learn from our parents is kind of subconscious until we get to a certain age, and then it all starts clicking.
Past 7.
Exactly, and then it starts like as things start clicking, the older you get. So with what is he changing that they want to change? Is it Zaire? So is it Zaire? Right
Zaire
now?
at first.
Okay,
Zaire.
So if D-Wade was to be the totalitarian dad and shit, and that kid killed himself, then what? And that's what I want to know with these people, like, if it's such a problem, and, all these things, tell us the right path. Tell someone the right path. Or not the right, you know what I mean? But like, and I'm putting air quotes so people can't see. Like give your explanation. But if you're not gonna be part of the quote unquote fucking solution, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day,
that's my thing though. Like you gotta kind of have boundaries too, though. Like,
oh yeah,
like, my son can come out as gay, and I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm not. That's totally different.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to like. You're telling me, okay, I want to change my name, this, all this kind of stuff, because, like, to me, that's kind of like, I don't know,
Oh, that's
because I'm taking the sexuality
adult.
out of it. That's why I said, okay, just my regular son, wants to change his name to another male name, I'm not just gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do that. If you don't feel comfortable with Devin no more and you want to be called fucking Johnny, sure.
That's why I think it's like those boundaries
like,
for me, like up until an adult. Because when you're an adult, you can do what you want, but that's the boundaries.
Right,
like,
point.
yeah,
but
like you know,
that's the thing too. Again, you still have to nurture it as a parent. I think.
Exactly. And I'm happy that he's like supportive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm not against that part. I'm not, and obviously he's a celebrity, so even if he wasn't, he can't come out and publicly say, oh, this shit's pissing me off.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Nobody, even if I didn't like something and I was a celebrity, I'm not going to come out and say anything negative about my family.
Right.
You know, so obviously he you know, he supports him and that's what's up or whatever. It's just like, I just feel like it got to be some sort of boundaries there or whatever.
Yeah, because kids are kids at the end of the day.
Yeah,
so
and then you got to kind of, because you know, there are some things that, okay, well, what is this going to snowball into? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 12 years old and I want to be a stripper. All right, well, here, I support you. You know, I'm 12 years old, I want to do fucking, I don't know, I want to fucking go do fucking motocross and shit. All right, here, let me go buy you a bike, go fuck around on these hills out there. You know, like, I just think it's certain, like, boundaries and shit. But it's, you know, like...
I mean, it is definitely, you want to make sure you're protecting your child. And that's where it comes down to.
And he's coming up in a different environment.
Yeah.
Obviously, he probably goes to a nice-ass private school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, he's not in the regular-ass public school where...
You can pull him out, homeschool him, and do these other things that you can't necessarily do. Like, we wouldn't necessarily be able to do with our children.
Yeah, because it'd be more difficult for us to
that's what the
transition our kid and then
exactly
have them deal with public school.
Yep, and that's my thing with the boundaries and protecting them. That's why I say, like, look, you not that you have to, but you know, the status quo needs to stay until you're 18. Then you can go through whatever transition. But until then, you're gonna be, you know, Wesley Jr. and this because the X, Y, and Z.
Right.
But
you explain that to your child. But people, you know, and it's just people. Period. I don't think this comes down to just black people. But we don't. Everything that's different threatens us, right? Mm-hmm. We don't understand it. We don't want to ask to understand it, though. That's the biggest problem, right? Like, you have to ask that and get that understanding. Maybe you might not ever get that answer. If you don't get that answer, then back the fuck off. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't. Obviously, you can't. None of us can just walk up to Dwayne Wade and get that answer. Yeah. I can't go on Instagram and DM Dwayne Wade and say, hey, what's your reasoning behind letting your son, you know, do that? Mm-hmm. He's not going to answer me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that message get deleted before it ever is even seen by him. Because he's going to see the preview of it, right? So, but you got to be okay with not having that answer. But my thing is, like, practice that more. If you don't understand, you go out and you fucking get understanding. Like, why did this happen? Or why?
There's science behind it nowadays. So it's not like it's, you know, it's not like it's not answers out there. It is science behind people feeling.
Some people don't want to ask that question because, again, like I said, it goes down to, I'm not comfortable with this. So because I'm not comfortable with it, I'm just going to ridicule it because it doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. Makes me feel uncomfortable. It's this, it's that, blah, blah, blah. You know, I mean, you know, whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I think, like I said, at the end of the day, the one positive you can take out of it, no matter what side you're on, even if you hate it, hate it or love it, you know, it's like,
hate it or love it, underdogs on top.
Yeah, I did realize I led into that, but I think at the end of the day, you can salute the fact that, like, you know, Dwayne is being supportive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to support your kids, you know, in decisions they make. Right. Like you said, they aren't ours. You know, whatever path they want to take,
it's gonna be their own path.
Yeah, they're gonna take that path, and he might grow out of the phase. Who knows?
So your boy Mahomes just tweeted 2 forward passes with a bunch of exclamation points, and that's the key staple in XFL. So I think that y'all are gonna have to fucks with it real soon. If Mahomes thinks it's good,
Keep watching it.
It must be a little alright.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, man. So we're gonna wrap this up. It's been another great episode here. Again, just to plug, man. I actually got rid of my main Instagram account. So you know, if y'all want to reach me, reach out to @theFadeUpPodcast on IG, on Twitter @FadeUpPodcast. Email us questions, suggestions. You got comments on the show, you got any kind of feedback, you want us to share something on the show, reach out to us there, email us, thefadeupodcast@gmail.com. You know, y'all go ahead and do your normal plug. Say West for last.
Yeah, you can catch me on Instagram and Twitter, 36 views of TG. And I'm also on Facebook at my government name, so.
That's the government name. And your boy Westmonster, WSMONSTERR on every major platform, and most importantly on the PS4, in case y'all want to get that ass beat.
Y'all getting that PS5?
Yeah, I'm definitely on
I
that.
probably will. Yeah, I'll come back to the PlayStation world. I've been on Xbox for a bit.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, you're gonna have to drop the Xbox low key.
Yeah. But thanks for listening, man. We catch y'all next week.
Peace.
All right, y'all.